so we are going to go ahead and start off with the quick read of our rosters for our high altitude roller derby, Dark Sky Starlets, and our Tucson roller derby, Vice Squad. We're going to start with the Dark Sky Starlets. Today we have number 0, the Knockout, number 11, Reamer, number 122, Bam Beasley, number 16, Echo Dislocator, number 221, Juicy Brute, number 314, Pi R Scared, number 321, Vivian Slayer, number 44, Kim Malicious, number 47, Zap, number 50, Revved, number 69, Illegal Peaches, number 789, Tara McPherson, number 80, Belt Sander, number 802, Mow You Down, who is also captain, number 96, Kristen Eit, number 692, Reckless Wheeler, and our coaches for the Dark Sky Starlets are Art and Nalgas, if I can read this messy handwriting. And now on to the Vice Squad.
So skating for Vice Squad, we're going to have number 1072, Pyro Blaze, number 16, Scrappy McNasty, number 25, and the captain, Lana Del Slay, number 311, Bellatrix LaRage, number 34, TT Smasher, number 434, Mona Handful, number 55, Slamurai Cutie Pie, number 5599, Ionic Storm, number 641, Tawdry Horn, and number 728 in their last game, Van D. Lizer.
That is absolutely correct. It is Van D. Lizer's last game. She is retiring. I want to hear a really big cheer for Van because she has dedicated several years to roller derby and has been an integral part to Tucson roller derby. So thank you, Van, for everything. Oh, and vice coaches are DC, Sean, and Mystery Meat. Sorry about that. And next whistle starts the derby. We've got Mona Handful for Vice Squad jamming, and we have number 96, Kristen Knight, for the Starlets. All right, and it looks like we have Kristen Knight with the Starlets starting this game off in jam number 1 as the lead, but Mona Handful has finished her initial pass and is behind her. And by the way, good afternoon. I am Weirdo.
And I'm Laserwolf. And Kristen Knight is going to call off that jam.
She's going to go ahead and put up 3 points. I see a thumb there.
And for the next jam, we're going to have 321 Slay, Vivian Slaya, going up against 5599 Ionic Storm.
They're wanting the scores. Do you know? Okay.
And it looks like it was actually 3 points last jam, so
Oh, well, there we go.
1 extra added.
There we go. All right, and we're off again. And just let everybody know, we officially got our microphones figured out. So
yeah,
you can hear us in-house. So you can hear me say that the Starlets have gotten lead jam position. And we can also still be heard on the Facebook Live feed. So we might be asking random questions that the in-house people are not going to have any idea what it is. Oh, and Ionic Storm has made it out for her initial pass.
And that's going to force them to call it off. Vivian Slaya going to pick up 4 points. So Dark Sky off to a quick 2-0 in terms of lead jam, 7-0 on the scoreboard. Now they'll send out Belt Sander, who I recently learned is a doctor. So Dr. Belt Sander.
Dr. Beltsander.
You're welcome.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, there is, and she plays roller derby. So she's cooler than your doctor. All right, and they're off. And we also have Scrappy McNasty for Vice Squad getting held up, trying to make her initial. But the doctor in the house has gotten lead jammer.
Belt Sander making their way around the track. Tucson Jammer is out as well. Going to put a little bit of pressure on. And sure enough, Belt Sander is going to end that one.
I'm writing down the most common of the cameras.
Keep that. I'm going to see if I can find out.
I like when we do that. So it's easier to find.
All right, and so far High Altitude Roller Derby has taken control of this game, leading with 11 points and has taken the first 3 lead jam positions.
Yeah, 3 very nice, clean jams for Dark Sky to begin this. But 11 points, not much of a lead in Derby right now. So much to play.
And the Starlets do have their pivot in the box. So it is a 3-4 advantage to Vice Squad.
Mona Handful jamming for Vice Squad, trying to take advantage of that.
And Starlets has another, it's the jammer. Reamer is heading to the box on a track cut.
So a power jam situation for Tucson. They are going to make a star pass over to, I believe that's Van.
Oh, that is Van. She might have been checking the color of her shirt. We do that a lot. We check the color of our shirt to make sure we are hitting the correct opposite team. And Van makes it through for 5 in the sky.
All right, good opportunity for Vice Squad to erase the lead. 5 already, and Vandalizer comes in for another scoring pass.
Van, you have to watch her feet. They're very, very quick. She's like a gazelle, especially if they give her that inside line. She will run it all day long.
Yeah, showcasing some nice lateral movement right now, but the Dark Sky tripod so far holding her on the second scoring pass and allowing their jammer to make their initial pass.
So Reamer is going to go ahead and come around, but Van does have lead, so she can call this off at any time. Let's see if she decides to do that. Or, excuse me, she does not have lead because it was a star pass. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, so this is going to go the full 2 minutes. About 30 seconds or so remaining. And both jammers stopped up here. As soon as I say that, Reamer finds room on the outside.
Yeah, when announcing, don't commit to anything because the opposite's going to happen.
Anytime I say no jammers out yet, 5 seconds later they'll be out.
Well, I can barely look down to see like which player is what because look at that. I look down and boom, she's right through for 5 points again. So as this jam comes to a close, we will see if she can manage to squeeze in a point.
It was just in the last second or two. We'll see. I see some hands in the
They gave
air.
her 5 points.
Wow.
So that was a 10 to 15 point jam in favor of the Starlets. So we have Vice Squad with 10 and Starlets with 26 with about 24 minutes and 40 seconds left in this first half.
Yeah, Vice Squad able to get on the board, but Dark Sky doing a great job of sticking with that jam and turning it around. Did have to do the star pass, so Dark Sky was able to get out of the box and score 15 points. And that was the first multi-pass jam of the bout.
All right, and Kristen Knight has made it out, and she is lead jammer. So she's coming around for her first scoring pass.
That's some powerful jamming from Kristen Knight. We saw this last night. Just attacks the blockers.
And we do have Slamurai Cutie Pie with the star on her helmet for Vice. And she is still she's fighting her way for that initial wall. Kristen Knight just rolls right through that for another 5 points.
Yeah, Kristen Knight up to 10 already. We do have one blocker for Vice Squad in the box.
That would be TT Smasher, sitting there thinking about what she's done. Oh, and then we have Ionic Storm coming by, but unfortunately, because she also went out.
Looks like that was a real hard hit.
No pass, no play, so she is able to go on, and Kristen Knight goes ahead and calls off that jam. But that was a 15-0 point jam in favor of the Starlets. So that's a good way to start off game number 2. And I know that it's just afternoon, but yesterday was a long day of Derby. It was very enjoyable, though, and I'm really, really excited. I personally am exhausted, though.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine.
It's been a long weekend already.
How about the first game?
Oh, the first game was
Girlies
awesome.
and the Beaters. That was an amazing, hard-fought game.
So will be the Surleys up against SRP in the finals later today, which should also be an excellent game. Back in our game, though, Dark Skies able to take the lead jam. That is Slaya. Slaying it around the track.
But Bellatrix Rage has made it out of her initial, and we will see what. There we go. Starlets, do you go ahead and call that jam before Rages has any opportunity to score any points? And the Starlets have gotten lead the last 5 of the last 6 jams. So seems like they're pretty well in control of this game. But again, it's Derby. It's
Yep.
early, and anything can happen.
Yeah, and actually, I think the one that they didn't have lead jam was no lead jammer. So I
Nope,
think
you're
Vice
absolutely
Squad's
right.
still working for their first lead jam status.
And we do have TT Smasher for the Vice Squad, along with, with Dr. Reamer. And Dr. Reamer has made it out. Who is that?
Dr.
I'm
Belt
sorry?
Sander.
That's Belt Sander. There's a lot of names in Derby. Let's see. She's 80. I'm trying to write the numbers down. But Smasher has made it out of her initial pass. But again, I think with having that lead designation, you get that control. You can look up and be like, I scored a couple points, you're not getting any, and you call off that jam. And I believe most people here do understand that when the hips are tapped twice, that will end the jam. That's what that signal is. It's not the newest dance move. It's an official thing with Derby.
Yeah, to anybody who's stumbled onto the live stream by accident and wondering what's going on, that's when the jam's over. Now we have Reamer wearing the star for real this time, and Mona Handful, I believe.
Mona Handful is another one. She's very jukey and very, very fast on her feet. And it looks like, yep, she has gotten lead because she pushed the front of that pack out of play, so they have to let her go. So she is coming.
Yeah, and
She is coming around for her scoring pass, and Lana Del Slay for the Vice Squad is sent to the box.
yeah, recycled Reamer to the outside, but looks like it was not a fully legal hit. But still, Reamer working on their initial pass.
Yeah, Vice Squad doing a great job this jam so far of recycling a few times. But
I think the
Mona
end of
Handful
the
went
jam.
ahead and called the jam. Well, and right as that was happening, a Starlet blocker has been sent to the box.
Yeah, so we'll have one apiece in the penalty box. We might have an official review happening, but
I just see lots of hand signals and
Yeah.
whistles and, you know,
but I don't see them coming from the coaches or captains.
or officials.
So it looks like
Nope.
we're lining up for another jam.
Nope, so we got 5 seconds. We've got Kristen Knight with Vandalizer starting this off. Again, 3-on-3 for the blockers as both jammers trying to make their way through. And it looks like Kristen Knight goes ahead and makes her way on the inside line to get lead designation.
Yeah, and Van hopping over a couple blockers to get out as well. So Van's going to be through their initial pass.
The pack is not moving super fast, but it is moving. Kristen Knight's kind of got her hands up. Yep, she's going to go ahead and call off that jam.
Had to make Van skate all the way around before calling it off.
And every time Kristen Knight has gone out to jam, she has gotten lead. So she is starting off this game strong.
Yeah, and Dark Sky had a really good performance last night going up against FTW, and Kristen Knight was a large part of that, along with the jammer they're sending out now. Vivian Slaya was a fan favorite on the Facebook stream yesterday.
Indeed.
And jamming for Vice is going to be Echo Dislocator.
Yes, and we do have Vivian Slaya go ahead and gets lead designation, even though at the time she was down a blocker, but still made it through. And it looks like Vice's jammer is headed to the penalty box on a track cut. So now we do have a power jam in favor of the Starlets. So we'll kind of see what happens with their blockers, whether they'll play some offense. Nope, didn't need to. Vivian went ahead and made it through that for 5 points. We do have Vice's jammer standing in the box, which means she can be released at any second, while Vivian Slaya is recycled to the inside by Ionic Storm. And Scrappy has entered the fray again.
Wow, and
she-
threw quickly on the initial pass. And that's going to be the end of that.
Little apex jump, which then Slaya says, okay, I scored a couple points. Let's not bother. I'm going to call this.
Slayer racking up 8 points there, so a quick score update, 14 for Vice Squad against 61 for the Dark Sky Starlets.
So we do have one player on each team that do have very similar names. We do have Lana Del Slay, and then we also have Vivian Slaya. Because normally, the TRD, we do call Lana Del Slay just Slay. So I think at this point, we're just going to have to use both names. Because I see on the Facebook live feed that there's a little bit of back and forth about which Slay they're cheering for.
Yeah.
Tries to make it on the outside. In fact, the
Speaking of
Slay
Slay.
has knocked out the belt sander. Oh,
Yeah,
tries a little bit of an
Belt-Sander
apex jump and is denied while Mona Handful comes around with a lead jammer status.
Yeah, Belt-Sander was still working on the initial pass, recycled all the way to where they started. Vice Squad playing some awesome defense this jam.
Rage giving number 80 the business, saying not today, you're not taking this inside line. And the Starlets have a blocker that has gone to the box. And Mona Handful, with a little giggle and a little smile, goes ahead and calls off that jam. So yes, on the Facebook. So it looks like we have Slay, Slay, Slay all day, but then we have Slaya. We are Team Slaya. Gotcha, okay.
We've got a couple of palindrome jammers up there. Number 11 against number 55. Reamer against Slamurai Cutie Pie.
Starlets still have one blocker in the box, so Vice it's in favor of Vice, 4 blockers to 3 blockers.
See what can happen. A lot of movement from Reamer. It's like Slamurai just working hard against the tripod from Dark Sky.
Pyro Blaze from Vice Squad being sent to the penalty box, and now the complement of blockers are even, but Reamer does make it out for lead jammer.
Yeah. And now a little bit of offense from Vice, trying to free their jammer. So far unsuccessful.
Oh, and that is a star pass, which is successful to Ionic Storm. So she is going to come around skating real quick.
Reamer was able to take advantage of the chaos there.
But Reamer
During
went
the
ahead and
star
called
pass.
off that jam. And Vice is going to take a timeout, regroup a little bit, talk. Because we do have Vice Squad with 19, and we do have the Dark Sky Starlets with 65, with 14:42 left in this first half. So we'll take this opportunity to talk about over at the Tucson Roller Derby Junior Brads table. They are selling cool merchandise, t-shirts, socks, stickers, pins. And they're also doing a raffle today. They are raffling off reversible homemade purse that looks like a jammer's helmet cover. That's genius.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty sweet.
That is really sweet. So they are selling raffle tickets. It is a 1 for $1 or 8 for $5. And we will be announcing that between the last 2 games. And they do have a game coming up on October 26th, which I believe that is Friday? Friday? Anybody got a calendar? Friday.
I'm going to say it's Friday.
I'm going to say yes. If I'm wrong, go check your own dang calendar and you figure it out. Which will be at Catalina Magnet High School, which is near, was it Country Club and Grant?
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, so it's near Country Club and Grant because Catalina Magnet High School, there is a skate park there. There's 2 tracks. That's where we normally practice. And that's where Derby Brats do have their game. So please go check it out. And you can also find them on Facebook.
Ooh,
And during all those words, some things happened.
Yeah, that was a big shot from Chris tonight, taking lead jam in the process.
And coming around for 5 points. Let's see. We got Mona Handful. Okay. And then we have Mona Handful, who is jamming for Vice. Getting knocked to the inside, but she is still trying to complete her initial. She has taken off the star cover. See whether she just keeps that tucked or tries to get some. Oh, she can't get any help because her pivot is in the box. Well, Chris Knight comes around for another 5 points. Oh, and Mona trying to come through with a little bit of a spin move on the outside. And it's not. And she goes ahead and completes her initial pass. While Chris Knight comes around for that, I believe, 15th point this jam.
Hey, he's getting feedback.
sure if it's something that I'm doing or if it's
Or it's the new
or if I'm
system.
just like over amped. If you turn me down, I can probably just talk louder.
It should be down a little bit. Try it.
Okay.
See if we can still
And I
hear
think
you.
it's like because I'll leave it on.
So I've been helped out by
I'll leave it on.
by the Facebooks. Yes, the Derby Brats game is Friday. That is the 26th of October. All right, we got Vandalizer for Vice going against Vivian Slaya. Vivian Slaya recycled to the inside into turn 4 with Ionic Storm, who puts her to the outside. Ionic Storm, really a storm force to be reckoned with. She was part of our Derby Brats program and then moved up this year to our Saddle Tramps. She is a D2 level skater. So she is one to definitely watch out on the track. Then we have Vandalizer pushing the front. Pushing, trying to... We have yelling and whistles, and we have Vandalizer as the lead jammer.
And it's going to be a power jam for Vice Squad.
Well, yep, Vivian Slaya being sent to the box for a track cut. And Vandalizer making her way through for 5 points.
This is just what they need.
But she is going to go ahead and call it off, which now means the next jam will start off as a power jam because their jammer is still sitting. So that's still a significant amount of time in the box. So that could be a really good chance for Scrappy McNasty to quickly make her initial pass and even also put in a scoring pass. So she could very easily put 5 points up on the board pretty quickly before their jammer's, even back on the track. So we'll have to see if her team helps her out with offense or just kind of lets her do her thing.
Yeah, there's a blocker in the penalty box as well for the Starlets. So this is a golden opportunity for Vice Squad. And Scrappy's already out for lead jam.
Yeah, and did you see that? The tripod for Vice Squad, they kind of kept two of Starlet's blockers clogged up to keep them off of their jammer.
Yeah, so she just had one to beat, and one-on-one is in favor of the jammer for sure. Scrappy now working on the scoring pass.
Yeah, and she has successfully made her first scoring pass for 5 points, while Vivian Slaya has re-entered the track but is still on her initial. She does have the star cover in her hands. So sometimes just putting it in your hand just adds to that little bit of chaos because you don't see the star, so you're not sure, like, oh, should I be blocking? Or, just keeping it a little secret.
Yeah, and at this point, there's really no downside to it, so
no,
might as well take it off.
And while Vivian Slaya gets out for her initial, Scrappy has finished her second scoring pass, so that brings her jam total to 10.
So Scrappy's going to come through for at least one more here.
And goes ahead and calls it. Well, there's a pile up on the straightaway. Yeah. All right, so just to give an update on the score, because it doesn't look like our live feed has the scoreboard up. We do have Vice Squad with 35 and High Altitude Roller Derby Dark Sky Starlets with 79 with 10 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first half. And we're going to be starting out Jam 16 right now. So we have Ionic Storm 5599 as jamming for Vice Squad, and we have Reamer jamming for the Dark Sky Starlets. It's a mouthful. We do have Bellatrix LaRage heading to the box while Dark Sky Starlets, Reamer makes it out as lead jammer.
Yeah, Vice Squad jammer out as well. So a bit of a skate race here as Reamer's going to try to pick up some points and likely call it off. Does just that.
But unfortunately, Ionic Storm is not able to sneak any points in that. And it does look like we do have the scoreboard up on the live feed, so look at that. We're fancy. We are.
Ooh,
we try to be as fancy as we can.
That looks real good.
It does. It looks real clean, doesn't it? I
Yes.
really like that. Yeah, I do have to say a big thank you to Jaws Breaker's husband. He has done a phenomenal job with our video feeds this weekend, and that's really nice to have. Just Mr. Jaws. We're just going to call him Mr. Jaws. That works. Like my husband's Mr. Weirdo? Got it. All right, we're off on jam number 17.
Yep, Kristen Knight's out there for Dark Sky getting recycled.
On a high block
Ooh.
to the penalty.
Yeah, recycled all the way back. So,
So
it's going to be a power jam.
We do have a power jam for Mona Handful, but she has been called on a track cut, so she will plop on down right there.
Yeah, so she'll just have to sit for a little bit once
And
the
then
the other jammer comes out.
the other jammer is going to go back on the track. Because I don't know if you knew this or not, but if we don't have jammers, we don't have roller derby.
Yeah, or you have just like really not exciting roller derby.
We're all just kind of standing around looking at each other, complimenting our bout makeup and all that stuff. So,
Yep, and Mona will have a shortened penalty because the opposing jammer also had a shortened penalty. So Kristenite will be working, and Mona Handful already out, and they're both through.
So we are now on scoring passes for both, but there is no lead designation because of the we'll call it the kerfuffle. I think the kerfuffle
yeah,
is a good word. So they are both now on scoring passes, and they will finish out the full 40 seconds that's left in this jam.
Yep. Mona Handful had just one to beat, but actually recycled to the outside. Kristenite trying to plow their way through.
Yep, and they have made it through. So Kristenite has come through for 4 points. Mona Handful's working hard to get through that pack. Because a lot of people think that roller derby is just skating around in a circle, making a bunch of left turns. It's not just skating. You have to push. You have to make it through. I mean, it's hard work. It's exhausting.
It's really hard work. Yeah, even if you see them and they might not look like they're moving very quickly, they're pushing and pushing.
It looks like Mona Handful completed a star pass to Ionic Storm, but unfortunately the jam time expired on that. Oh, look, we have Holly Ween from Northern Arizona Roller Derby watching, so shout out to her. She skated yesterday. I believe skates later today. I'm sure somebody will correct me. Facebook's good for that. All right, now back on the line for jamming for the Starlets is Vivian Slaya, and we do have Pyro Blaze. I believe this is her first time jamming.
Yeah, I don't think
this
Pyro's
game.
jammed yet.
Yep, and she is knocked to the outside and recycled back to just past the jammer line, where she will make her attempt again for her initial pass, while Vivian Slaya is deemed the lead jammer. As she waves to her fellow player in the penalty box like, hey, hurry up. Come on, I need your help. Let's do this.
So far, though, the shortened roster of blockers out there for HARD has been successful.
And Slaya has made it through for 5 more points, while Vice has another blocker that has gone to the penalty box. And Slaya has become lead jammer the last 4 of her 5 jams. And, lots of actioning happening and going towards the penalty box.
Yeah.
To the point where they have to send one of the blockers back, so they will write her number down. She will still need to serve her time. It just will happen later.
So how does that work? Does she have to go to the box once one of them comes out?
Now, with my understanding, learning how to NSO, she'll come out for the jam, and then once... Yep, I see numbers being written down on the board. So they will write it down on a whiteboard and, get the ref's attention and say she still has to serve her time. We're just a little full right now. So now we've got Belt Sander and Ionic Storm facing off on the jam line, and Belt Sander makes it through the inside line to run up and get lead jammer.
Yeah, really big since she did have 2 blockers in the box. Great for Belt Sander to grab lead jam.
And makes it through with an apex jump. Scores 4 points and goes ahead and calls off that jam. That's called hit it and quit it. That's where you get your points quick and you call it before the other jammer has an opportunity to score any points.
Yep, putting 4 on the board.
And there you go. Number 44 is making her way back to the penalty box to serve her time.
So justice will be served, which means we're still going to have, looks like we got 3 members of hard over there. So just 1 pivot in the pack.
And it looks like we're going to go ahead and call a timeout for Starlets.
Are they allowed to have 2 over there while 1 is standing? Is that how it works?
So how it works in the penalty box, when there is, again, that word kerfuffle and just all kinds of naughtiness going on. So once they do have one of their people in the penalty box standing, well, now that chair is open. So that's when that person will need to come
Okay.
back to the box, serve their time. So technically, you could have 3 blockers in the box.
Yeah.
It just all comes down to timing, and I really have to give it to the NSOs in the penalty box timing. I did that job this last game. It can get awfully confusing when 4 or 5 skaters show up, and it's insane, and you have paperwork to fill out. You wouldn't think that there'd be paperwork with roller derby, but there is. And we appreciate it later on for statistics, but at the time, it's a little annoying.
And so unless something changes, we are going to have just the one pivot for Hart out there, at least for the first 5-10 seconds.
So, yes, we have the one pivot. She's like, I got this. I think I've got it. My hands are up. But Vice does have the full complement of their blockers with Scrappy McNasty and Reamer.
And actually
I
a
mean-
recycle from the lone pivot.
From the lone pivot's going to have a recycle. But Scrappy does make it through for lead designation as one blocker from Starlets. Makes their way back out onto the track to try to help where they can.
Yep, and Reamer's able to find a little bit of room through the middle to at least complete their initial pass, but Scrappy's through for a scoring pass.
Scrappy's right behind her with 4 points. And she's going to see what she can do with this, maybe pass her. Nope, she's going to go ahead and call it.
Yeah, it was close. Scrappy almost able to pass and maybe squeeze another point or two out of that jam.
But look at that. Look at that sportswomanship right there of helping each other up, because and I've noticed that a lot through this weekend, that even when players are down and everybody's trying to get back up, everybody still has a smile on their face and they're giggling, like,
Yep.
because this is so much fun. So I do have an update with the score. We have 47 to Vice Squad and 104 to the Starlets. So they have passed the century mark. And Kristonite has 44, almost half of the Starlets' points. And she
we see
makes
why.
it through for another lead jammer. And she will be coming around to hopefully keep adding to that total.
Yeah, we got Vandalizer working for Vice Squad. Got just one more to beat, and Vandalizer's able to make it through the initial pass, but Kristonite
Is right behind her. So she's got her hands up. She's
Yep,
like,
she's
I'm
getting
flying.
ready.
I'm flying. Let's see what I decide to do. And she
Yeah.
is going to go ahead and call it. So she
Just-
went ahead and do that just to kind of help run the clock down. Because teams... Oh, and we do have an official review being called by Vice Squad. So the strategy with doing that is timeouts can be called in between the jams, whether it's just a team timeout or an official review, things like that. And those stop the clock. So kind of letting it go another 10 seconds before calling it off gives that strategy of like, we're going to run a few more seconds down before y'all can stop it.
Yep, and in games like this where you're not worried about the ratio of points or improving ranking, since it's not a sanctioned bout, doesn't matter if they win by 50 or if they win by 400. So for them, when they've got the lead, it does behoove them to run as much of the clock down as possible.
Yeah, and just because I happen to be smart and look at a bracket, so the outcome of this game will determine who is in 5th and 6th place for this weekend. Whether it be the Starlets or Vice Squad, whoever wins will be 5th place. And then following, right after, we are going to be having Whiskey Rollers versus the Bad News Beaters, and that's going to determine who is 3rd and 4th place. And then at 5:30, we have Skate Riot Project versus the Surly Girlies, and that's going to determine who is 1st and 2nd. So it looks like the championship weekend is going to come down to 2 AZRD teams, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. AZRD's had a pretty solid weekend. All 3 of their teams did win their initial game, and all 3 of their teams won by a pretty good margin as well. So AZRD really showing up to play.
Well, I mean, Copper Queens from TRD did have it the last 3 years, so they definitely were like, you know what, we're showing up and we're gonna get that beautiful trophy. I don't know if anybody in house has had a chance to check out the trophy. It's pretty fancy.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, Queens have pretty well tagged it up with their green laces and what are those called?
And
Crowns.
they made it copper, too.
Crowns, and they did. They painted it copper, which is fantastic. So, but we'll have to see who the winner of this weekend does decide to do with that trophy. All right, it looks like officials are talking. We'll maybe have somebody come tell us eventually what is going on. Because, as announcers, we
Yep.
just sit here and look pretty until they tell us what's going on.
Yeah, usually we get someone that comes over once it's done to tell us what was being reviewed and what the result was. It looks like it was called by Vice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
If Slaya wins, she'll be 6-7.
And we do see
Okay.
someone going to the penalty box. So it's going to be
We do
scrappy.
have the Starlets jammer going to the box. Forearm something?
Forearm, maybe?
Hold on. We have
We're gonna
somebody
get the
official
lowdown.
looking that will come tell us what happened.
So Scrappy's going to open this up in a power jam situation. Looking to get a little bit of offense from their team. Scrappy McNasty found some room on the inside, grabbing lead jam right away for Vice, and we'll hear what the official review is about.
All right, so Vice Squad requested a forearms call on Kryptonite during the last jam. The officials backed up the call, and Kryptonite will start in the box with a forearm.
She was awake, though.
All right. Thank you, Trash Panda. Setting the bar high today. I appreciate that, sir. Yesterday was low. Bar was low, but today it's high. Good job. And we have Scrappy coming out still as lead. But Kryptonite is right behind her.
Yeah, Kryptonite was sprung free from the penalty box, able to put a little bit of pressure on, but I don't believe able to pick up any points.
No. So they went ahead and took a very much advantage of that to get 7 points in that jam.
So we've got the team from Flagstaff with double the points of the Vice Squad exactly. So 54
look
points
at
for
that.
Vice.
Math.
And 108.
It's Sunday. I don't do math.
I like math.
Good for you.
It's, gold star.
And we have Mona Handful being cheered on by the crowd right behind us, and she is going against Belt Sander.
And Dr. Sanders out for, actually looks like a no pass, no penalty. No, it's a cut.
Hold on.
cut.
Wait. Something else happened near turn 1 and 2. Belt Sander was called on a track cut just as she was supposed to get the lead jammer, but that now has gone to Mona Handful.
So Mona Handful, lead jam status and a power jam.
Oh,
The Vice Squad going to continue working against that lead.
right there.
And a lot of crowd support.
Well, she's a fabulous player. I mean, they're all fabulous players. They all should have great crowd support.
Mm-hmm.
So Mona is coming through her with her blockers, giving her some offensive help. Makes
Mona's
it through for 5. While Belt Sander has been released from the box, she does have the cover tucked in her hands, but believe she still needs to make her initial. That's what it looks like. So now she has made her initial. And even if that wasn't her initial, she didn't have the cover on. If you don't have the cover on, you don't get to score points.
Don't get points.
The referees are not here to technically babysit you and see if you have something in your hands.
So 10 points there netted for Vice Squad. And that's going to take us into our intermission or our halftime.
So we have Vice Squad with 64. Yes, Van, you can come out of the penalty box now. We have, Vice Squad with 66 to, what is that? Starlets 108. Welcome back, Derby fans. So we are going to be starting the second half of this game in just a few short seconds. And I just got a plethora of information thrown at me. Unmatched graphic design and apparel right behind me by Mad Skater. Mad Hater, give a wave. Mad Hater. Mad Hater. She's not listening. Mad Hater, give a wave. Give a wave. Everybody wave hi. If you buy a t-shirt, you get a free sticker. Who doesn't love stickers to go in your water bottle, your car? It's a great time. I've also been informed that we are indeed hosting an after party tonight after the championship game to celebrate the awesome weekend that is roller derby. And it's going to be at IBT's, which is on 4th Avenue. I'm sure I will be fancy enough to get an address for that in any second as soon as somebody wants to hand it to me. And we're just going to go and dance and have fun and celebrate the derbs. We like
Who
to
doesn't
call
love
the
the
derbs.
derbs?
So we are off and running on our second half with Vice Squad and the the Starlets. I'm just saying the Starlets.
The Starlets.
There
Dark
we go.
Sky. And a big hit from Zap. Was able to zap Scrappy McNasty right out of bounds and recycle them. And
I like what you did there.
thank you. Krista Knight threw the scoring pass, got lead jammer status, working on some points, but being so far held up.
So far held up. That is a very strong tripod right now. It's going up, and she is trying to find any weak point that she can as Scrappy McNasty is recycled
Yep, Zap with another one.
to the inside. And we went ahead and called off that jam. Were there any points awarded for either player? I don't think so.
We'll see.
Again, we're announcers. We're the last to know anything. It looks like
A trio
Starlets
of
did
points.
go ahead.
So we're blessed with another couple palindrome scores there. 66 for Vice Squad up against 111 for
The Starlets.
the Starlets.
All right, we've got Vivian Slay starting off jamming with a little bit of a defensive hit against Pyro Blaze, which worked out in her favor. She has been given leave, but Pyro Blaze is hot on her trail.
Yeah, Pyro Blaze, I think.
This is
Just
her
on their
second
yeah,
time jamming. Update that later.
And we hear the call it cries coming from the HARD bench. And
Is able
Vivian
to
Slay's
sneak
going to
in
call that off.
Three? That's three?
Yeah,
Thank you.
another 3 points.
So again, another hit it and quit it. It is a very good strategy because even though you're only gaining a few points at a time, but if you do that a bunch, then you end up with a bunch of points.
And really, roller derby is as much about scoring your own points as it is stopping the other team from scoring points.
It is one of those weird things as a blocker that you're playing offense and defense all at the same time.
Yeah, I think one of the only games where both teams are scoring at the same time, potentially. Right now we've got Belt Sander.
Who has gotten lead 60% of the time. So let's see if we can, yep. And again, she does. She right there, go ahead and up that percentage against Ionic Storm, who comes out of turn one out of her initial pass. So she will come
nice
around.
Juke from Belt Sander. Just went right around Lana Del Slay.
And goes ahead and calls that and get just taking another 3 or 4 seconds off the clock. Because again, if you do that a bunch, it really does add up.
Yep, 4 more points onto the board for the Dark Sky Starlets.
And we've got Mona Handful for Vice Squad, and we've got Reamer for the Starlets.
Yep, both
for
packs
this
at
jam.
full strength.
Are they? Is everybody being good so far this half?
I don't think I've seen any penalties yet this half.
Penalty box, any penalties so far? No? Oh, we've had one. Thank you, Foxy. I appreciate the update. Because y'all are looking intense over there, like this is our job and we're doing it.
Yep.
And in that
They
time,
will not be distracted.
no, they will not. So we got Starlet.
While we were distracted, the Starlets got lead jam.
They did, and that's a Reamer with Mona Handful coming around to turn one.
Oh, a sick apex jump from Reamer. Landed it, calls it off.
Calls it off.
That was pretty awesome.
Yes, that was pretty sweet. Or as you called it, sick. Some people might not know that 90s 2000 reference. I think it was really popular to say, oh, that was sick.
That's sick.
That's sick.
Yeah, that was a
I prefer
hella
not to
sweet
be sick.
apex jump.
That was hella sweet. Speaking of which, where's Hella Naughty? Hella Naughty. Hella Naughty, can you give the crowd a wave? Because we need to give you a round of applause because she has helped really organize this whole weekend. I'm giving you props is what I'm doing. Because you have done a fabulous job with organizing all the workers and the NSOs and she is multitasking queen that only requires about 43 minutes of sleep a night and is inhuman and is amazing. So can we please give it up for Hella Naughty and her awesome organizational skills for this weekend. Oh yeah, Derby's happening. So it looks like we have Scrappy McNasty Both on initial. We got Scrappy in turn 1 for Vice Squad. And we have, who's over there? What's going on? On the straightaway, that looks like Kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
Trying to get through this tripod.
Yeah, really
that she
stretched
broke
that
up.
pack.
That broke up, but then that tripod just reformed right around her and just reabsorbed her.
Yeah.
Both of them having a heck of a time. I mean, we're almost a minute down in this jam, and they are still fighting.
Yeah, and they pushed the pack all the way into turn 3. There comes some offense.
And it looks like Kryptonite's pivot came through trying to help with some offense, but unfortunately it backfired for Scrappy to come around as lead jammer. And it's coming around on, takes
hard.
Thank you again to our medical staff. They always do such a fabulous job. All right, we're going to get, that rolling whistle means we're going to get started here again. But real quick.
We have shout-outs.
We do have shout-outs. You can do a shout-out, and they are $1. So to Thighs of Glory, my mama duck, quack, quack, I love you. All right, so we're going to get started right now.
We're going to have 3-2-1 Vivian Slaya up against 4-3-4 Mona Handful. A couple jammers we've seen a lot of. And Vivian Slaya, one more to beat, able to get the lead jam and survive the goodbye hit.
And it looks like Slaya has gotten lead 6 out of her last 8 jam starts with a 71%. So it's the highest for Starlets. Mona does make it out on her initial pass.
Yeah, so Vivian looks ready to call it. We'll see what they end up doing. And yep, going to call it off. So
Again.
picked up the 4 points, stopped Vice Squad from scoring any. And that's going to bring the score to 126 for the Dark Sky Starlets and 68 for Vice Squad.
All right.
Now we're going to see Pyro Blaze out for another jam up against Belt Sander.
Blaze feeling the love from the crowd. All right, Pyro Blaze. Looking towards the inside, comes more towards the middle. Both.
Yeah, Belt Sander bouncing around, looking for a little bit of room, but not able to find it on the outside, getting recycled.
Right.
And Pyro Blaze is pushing the pack, getting them out of play and taking
That
lead
is
jam
her
for Vice Squad.
first lead of the game. So for her first chance for scoring some points this game.
Yeah, and the Dark Sky Jammer still working on the initial pass, getting recycled once again by Ionic Storm. This time, found
like
room on the outside.
Pyro Blaze has been called on a penalty, so will be in the penalty box. So now the Starlets have Power Jam.
And we'll see what they do with it. The team looks like they're coming in for some offense, a little bit of a sweep. And Belt Sander's able to go through the hole on the inside.
And go ahead and pick up those 5 points. That even though there's only 4 of Vice players on the track, she gets that 5th point because the other player is in the box.
Yep.
So we will be going for the full 2 minutes because
Apex
now
jump denied by Lana Del Slay.
it's always disappointing. You get super excited for an Apex jump, and it still looks super sweet even if you don't land it.
Yeah.
But when you do land it, it's just extra amazing. Oh, and Blaze has
Absolutely.
made it through. She has come out of the box.
So
We got
yeah,
about
like you were
30
saying, we got
seconds left.
no lead jammers. So
No
we'll
lead
keep
jammer,
going.
even though Blaze did get lead jammer because she was naughty and got sent to the box. That's part of her punishment as she loses lead designation.
Belt Sander threw another scoring pass at a no pass, no penalty. Was hit out of bounds, but the person that hit her also went out of bounds, so kept on skating.
All right.
The second highest score of the game with 30.
And Belt Sander is the second highest scorer of this game with 30 points. And that jam has come to its natural expiration. And let's see, final points. Looks like it was an 8 to 14 point. Nope. I
8
spoke too soon.
to 16,
8
I
to
believe.
16 point jam in favor of the Starlets.
9 to 16.
Oh,
All right. It's 9 to 16. We're calling it.
All right.
And we've got number 11, Reamer, up against number 311, Bellatrix LaRage, who I'm not sure if they've
I
jammed.
believe this is her first. time starting as a jammer, but she did receive a star pass earlier as a pivot. So this is her first time
okay.
starting all as a jammer. She does a lot of blocking, but she does enjoy, hard hit in turn 2. And very stereotypical, I'm holding my hip in roller derby. That's very common as Reamer gets up. Because Reamer got reamed in the hip.
Reamer did get reamed, but fortunately for Reamer, the person who hit them went out of bounds, so Reamer was able to escape the pack, but did not get lead jammer status.
No, so Bellatrix the Rage on her first time out as jammer does get lead, while Reamer is recycled to the inside to turn 1 by Van.
And Bellatrix the Rage just threw on a scoring pass.
Yep,
looking at the coach, deciding whether they're going to call it off.
Yeah, and if you notice, she did technically tap her hips once, but she did not do that second time. So they did not blow the whistle until she made, and she had to restart. She then had to go 1-2, and that's how you end the jam. And another quick shout out, again, you can buy them for $1 and make us tell your players things. And this one goes to Van. Thank you for being an amazing newbie coach and stellar human being, and that's from Nerd. Because we love you. She was the newbie coach for me, Nerd, Scarbucks, and Harsh Brooks, and she was absolutely phenomenal. And in that time, Vivian Slaya does make her way through the inside as lead jammer. She's coming around on her scoring pass as Ionic Storm is working through turn 1 to get through her initial.
Vivian Slaya making it look easy on that one, putting 5 on the board. Tucson still working on their initial pass, I believe.
Yes, Ionic Storm. Up, not anymore.
Yep,
You spoke too soon. You spoke too soon. And again, she's kind of doing this motion where she's like, I'm going to fly. And then I eventually tap my hips.
Yep, going to burn
there we go.
few seconds.
Burning that few seconds. Like it does really add up. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's burned close to a minute of clock time by doing that because she's done it several times.
And we're now under 19 minutes to go. And the Dark Sky Starlets have been able to hold on to their lead, currently up by 67 points.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the Facebooks going again.
Timeout called by Vice Squad.
Read one of those. Talk about Record Pack because you can get the No, Record Pack is over there. They're based out of Phoenix, and you can get your Van High Top in the States.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to one of our vendors, Rec and Effect, over on the side of the track opposite the announcers.
Look, they're waving.
They are waving.
And whoever it is wearing a beater shirt.
It looks like it might be Tupacalypse.
Is that Tupacalypse? It is Tupacalypse. Hello, Tupacalypse.
Tupacalypse.
You did a fabulous job the last game. You're over there womaning the booth.
So Rec and Effect, skater owned and operated, and they have the ability to convert your Converse and Van high tops into roller skates, which sounds pretty great to me.
All right, and we've got Belt Sander for the Starlets, and they have gotten 50% lead. They've gotten lead 50% of the time they've been out there, and 32 points so far this game, and is now going to have lead jammer status to try to add to that total. Now Mona coming around, making a little finger gun action at the crowd.
Yeah, Mona's got a cheering section.
And goes ahead and calls off that jam. Even though even though the Starlets only squeaked that 1 point in there, they kept Mona scoreless. Because sometimes it only takes 1 point.
Yep.
So every point is just as important.
I think just last weekend, one of our bouts in Phoenix was decided by a single point.
Those really annoying single points. It's rude. And we have Scrappy McNasty back out on the track.
Yep, Scrappy McNasty against Reamer, a matchup that we've seen a couple of times.
Yep. And I do want to mention that when you do see a jam get called off by the refs for an injury, whichever player is involved with that does have to stay out for 3 jams just to make sure that they're safe. So this is her first jam opportunity back, and she's done it and has come back like, hey, nothing happened. What are you even talking about?
Scrappy McNasty with an excellent return jam, 4-0.
goes ahead and calls that off before the Starlets are able to score any points. Van, are you being naughty over there in the penalty box? Naughty, naughty, naughty. Think about what you've done and don't do it again. So we do have Vice's pivot, tisk tisk, in the penalty box. And we have Vivian Slaya versus Bellatrix LaRage is out again, so this will be for her second jam. And it looks like she's kind of pushing, but kind of seeing if she can help out with some defense, but unfortunately that does not work. So
Yep.
Vivian Slaya is out.
Vivian Slaya hopped around laterally, was able to find a little bit of room.
Rage,
and now
Rage
comes
is
in for
right
some
behind
points.
her. Rage has got speed and skills.
Vivian took a hard fall.
Does take a hard fall, but immediately gets up, says, I'm okay. She is the one that called it.
Yeah, it looked like she was trying to call it off in the air and kind of clipped someone.
And here we go. We are going in a jam 13 with just bodies everywhere. Got Mona Handful coming out and getting lead designation, but
Krista Knight taking
Knight does make
their
her way
initial
out.
pass.
But we have a clear penalty box, so we have full complement of skaters. And Mona goes ahead and calls that off. Unfortunately, did not get any points, but kept the other jammer scoreless. But the jammer for Starlets is being sent to the penalty box.
Yeah, came flying into the pack a little bit fast there. And so we're going to have Pyro Blaze in a lead jam situation and a power jam situation, for Vice Squad.
So Pyro Blaze, let's see. So Pyro Blaze whistle, and now they're going to start. And it looks like Vice Squad is trying to give her a little bit of offense to begin with, but now they're going to try to hold the pack back.
Yep, they're trying to stretch the pack out so those blockers become out of play, and they were able to do that.
Yes. So Pyro does have a lead. Let's see if she can score a few points before Starlet's jammer is released from the box. Now.
Yep, and Pyro Blaze with some strong jamming makes it through. And we'll call it off after putting 5 in the sky.
There you go. So, but that did give enough time for Krista Knight to be released from the penalty box.
Yep, so we're going to have one blocker apiece in the penalty box. Both jammers will be out there. Looks like Hard is sending out Belt Sander and Vice Squad sending out Scrappy McNasty.
One of the iPhone.
All right, and we're going to jam 15.
Yep,
Belt Sander being
unable-
held by that tripod. That's a very strong tripod,
Yeah.
and Scrappy McNasty makes it through. But I think the cheers were a little distracting because Belt Sander was able to make it through. So Vice Squad's going to give a little bit of offense.
Scrappy McNasty taking a shoulder to the face, but still getting the points and calling it off.
Yes,
showing
got
that
3 points.
the name Scrappy.
She is very
living
scrappy.
up to it.
She is one of those ones that were born. She was born on skates. Was at the skate rink almost every weekend as a child, and because of that, now she gets to use that so much later in her life with roller derby, and she's got fancy footwork. I want to be like her when I grow up.
Lineup now, we got Mona Handful up against Vivian Slaya.
We've got Vice Squad 98 to Starlets 156 with 13 minutes left in this half. Oh,
And so
little bit
Vice
of
Squad has
pile-up.
been trying to chip away at that lead, and still enough time for them to get back into this.
You never know.
But-
Couple of big jams away.
Absolutely.
But Vivian Slaya says, no, not this jam, because I am going to get lead jammer.
Goes for the apex, doesn't quite land it. We'll call it off. We'll see if points were picked up.
There was no
It
points
looks like
put.
0.
But again, no points for Vice. So that does still work in their favor.
Yep, with the jump, you only get the points if you land the jump, and then you'll get the points for everyone you passed.
Yes.
But since wasn't quite able to land the jump, only got 0.
Sometimes you start off an apex jump, and before you leave the ground, you do get your hips past maybe
Yep.
1 or 2 players, but unfortunately that is not the case. And just in case anybody at home or even here in TISC doesn't know, that's how you score points as a jammer. You have to get your hips past them. And so sometimes you'll see a skater go into a tripod and just flick the hips real quick. We've got Rage out as lead jammer.
Yep.
So she's going to come around for a scoring pass, and we'll see if she hits it and quits it because Reamer is right behind her.
Yep. So I got a few points there.
It's like
able
I'm
to stop
psychic or
Reamer.
something. It's
And-
like I understand this sport, so that was nice.
The Vice Squad over 100 points now, up to 101. Cutting that lead down to 55 points. Going to have Scrappy McNasty back out there wearing the star up against Belt Sander, number 80, Grit.
Yeah, we've got a couple of shout-outs from Facebook. We do have a couple. We do have one. Katie is saying, mad props for all you ladies taking these hard hits and falls and getting back out there, because that's what Derby's about. It's about getting back up. Because if you're going to play Derby, you're going to get hit and you're going to fall.
Yep. Belt Sander able to grab lead jam for Dark Sky on this one, but Scrappy McNasty
Scrappy
flying around the track.
staring her down like a laser. Scrappy's very fast.
Yeah, incredible
Like-
speed there. And looks like Scrappy definitely stole some points on that one.
Scrappy did indeed. It looks like 3 and 3 on that one, so kind of
Yeah.
kept it even.
Nice job by Scrappy catching the jammer.
Yes. So we got Vivian Slea going against Mona Handful. I don't even have to look at the track to know it's Mona jamming because the crowd is letting us know. And we appreciate any crowd help we can get because we are not professionals. This is all volunteer. So and that is Vivian Slea getting lead jammer, but Mona is right behind her, just one turn behind her. Mona being lifted by the spirits of the crowd.
Vivian's going to fly through hips first and then call it off. See if Mona was able to get any points. Looks like it was a little bit early.
Not.
Yep.
But I don't think
I
Starlets were
yeah, I don't see
either.
any up there.
Nope.
Yeah, going to be
Oh,
0.
there we go,
Oh,
2
there's
points.
the 2.
There's a
All right.
delay. Again, we're the last to know anything.
Yeah, it looked like she was in the pack when she called it off, so.
What's going on? There's some whistles. There's some
And-
things. It looks like Mona is
A late
much
penalty assessed.
to the crowd's disappointment is being sent to the penalty box. Coach
So
Mystery
Reamer-
Meat is kind of checking in to see what is going on.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of an official timeout while we get everything sorted out.
And I'll go ahead and talk to the Facebook crowd here a little bit because we are up to 30 viewers, 29 viewers, 30
Oh,
viewers.
wow, we're
Ooh.
famous.
So all of you out there in Facebook land, give this a share. Oh, and I say that and it drops to 28. Thanks.
Oh, they didn't appreciate that. That's a 20-second delay. They haven't heard you say it yet.
Yeah, but they are saying that they are at home gasping and holding their breath because it is such an exciting sport. And something else has changed. Mona is back out of the box.
All right, free
She
Mona.
just wanted to go over there and visit the NSOs.
Yeah, it's been a pretty clean second
Saying,
half,
hey,
so
what's
maybe
up?
they were
How are
getting lonely.
you know, how's the family? How's their job going? And then she left. We're still in an official timeout. They're all having a meeting.
So now it's another jammer. This is Vivian Slea going over to the penalty box.
Wait.
The plot thickens.
Hold up. The plot thickens.
Uh,
Now, Slaya's over there asking,
In a
talking
twist
to the
nobody saw
NSOs.
coming.
giving a little pouty lip and a single tear. Again, just
Yeah. We'll see what
eventually
happens
get
next.
an update. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and say another one of our vendors. Who shall we talk about? I want to talk about Stickswear because that is something I need to go check out with Miss Chem Fatale. It is the first brand officially offering contact wear for women. which I think is absolutely amazing. We can get things like tailbone padding, hip padding. What else, Kim? Kim, what else can we get? Rib padding? Sternum? Sternum? I should say sternum. That's more appropriate, right? Okay, just making sure. I mean, you can just get padding for all kinds. Is there shin guards? So shin guards are also available. You wouldn't think you'd need shin guards to play roller derby, but if you've ever taken a skate to the shin, you know you need some shin guards. And even Fancy, she has a little changing room. Little changing room, so you can go over there and try on what you need to, so you don't have to buy anything blind. You can just go on, try it out, make sure you like it, and you'll be good to go. So thank you, Kim, for officially representing Stakeswear, the first official brand offering contact wear for women. I need to get paid more for doing this advertising. Oh, wait. Oh, we have a jammer leaving the box. Y'all need to make up my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
You're like, bye. Oh, girl, bye.
So we'll just...
So I think that just means that none of that happened because there is no effect from it. So we'll just pretend like the last 2 minutes were some weird time-lapse black hole because Doctor Who showed up and screwed it all up, but then fixed it, so we're fine. So we're going to start jam number 21 with Reamer and Ionic Storm.
Yep, Reamer working on the inside. Ionic Storm going straight at the pack.
Straight at the pack towards the front. Ooh, but Bellatrix the Rage with that quick little hip, knocking her out.
Nice recycle by Rage. Now Reamer's still having trouble.
Ionic Storm just pushing. That is a solid tripod. But it looks like Ionic Storm has been called for a forearm. So now we do have a power jam in the favor of Reamer with the Starlets. So Ionic Storm will go sit in the penalty box, think about what she did, and try not to do it again. Appreciate it.
And
we have a pile up in turn 2.
Reamer, the only one out there to score points right now, in possession of the star and lead jam and power jam up against one more blocker, two more blockers. The pack is getting stretched out as Dark Sky tries to trap that Vice Squad blocker.
So they do have to let her go. So we do have rules in roller derby that kind of controls where the pack is, so everybody's not just all over the place.
Yep, so they have to be a part of the pack.
So they have to be part of the pack, and from there you can space skaters out about 9-10 feet apiece, and then that last skater can be out 20 feet. But then after that, you will hear the ref say out of play. They have to let them go.
Yep, and so that's why you'll see the skaters sometimes just have to give up, put their hands up, and let the jammer by. And you think, well, why would they do that? And it's because they couldn't block him anymore.
And we have a power start for Belt Sander, but Ionic Storm is coming in. Looks like she's coming in hot.
Speed, yeah. And a jump.
But it looks like her right skate did drag on the inside line, so she is recycled. And as hard as Ionic Storm has been working, she has yet to score in this bout. But
we'll see what happens now. Lead jammer.
But that is her first lead jammer, so she is now in control of this jam because... And that's her first points right there. So that's a good way to start that off because Belsander is still working on her initial and is knocked to the inside.
And Belsander's actually getting called for a cut, so
she thought it was going to be a
power
no pass.
jam.
Yeah.
There's a big opportunity for Vice Squad.
Very
They're
big
starting to close the
opportunity
gap.
because it's 114 to 166 in favor of the Starlets, but there's still 7 minutes. And now now it's on like Donkey Kong, as you would say.
Yep, they're going to call this jam off. Going to freeze the jammer in the penalty box. Penalties do carry over between jams, so the Dark Sky jammer will have to stay into the penalty box.
And it looks like her pivot decided to come over and have a party in the penalty box. So they will sit and hang out. So Scrappy McNasty is going to have a power start. And right now we've got Vice with... What's going on? 3 blockers.
Yep, 3 on 3 blockers.
3 on 3 blockers.
And Scrappy McNasty all by their lonesome with the star.
And it looks like her team is trying to help her out with some offense because otherwise they kind of don't have anything to do. And it looks like it has been successful. Scrappy comes out of turn 1 with lead designation.
And Scrappy's going to get another blocker added, so Now a pack advantage and power jam.
But the jammer is right. Beltender has been released from the penalty box. She's
yeah,
going
Beltender's
to
got the star in their hand, I believe.
something like that. Because sometimes they try to be sneaky. And does come out of her initial pass, so now we'll be scoring. So we'll see what Scrappy's track awareness is, which is, I see you coming, I'm shutting you down. While still getting 4 points. I don't know if anybody else has figured this out, but roller derby is exciting.
I love roller derby.
I love the derby.
Only 45 points between these two teams now. The lead has been slowly shrinking.
All right,
Dark Sky still holding on to it for now.
Mona's coming into this jam with, I was being updated with 23 points so far this game. And kind of goes down, but was still inbound, so she can just immediately get back up. Lana Del Slay knocking Vivian
Slay
Slaya.
on Slay.
Little Slay on Slay action. While
Mona's got the lead jam.
is out there with lead jam. Dark Crystal is in on Vice's side doing some cheering.
And it's a power jam now.
And it is a power jam.
Vivian did pick up a cut track penalty. So Mona
Yeah.
handful, all by their lonesome, already 5 points in the sky.
Yep. Looks like Vice will be giving her some offensive help and makes it through. One more to pass.
And there's 5 more.
And there's another 5. Even though she only passed 3 on the track, she still gets the 2 that are in the penalty box.
This is really
far,
big for Vice
10
Squad.
points this jam. Let's see.
Oh, make that 15
Make that 15.
with a clean jump.
If you're not excited about what's happening right now, then you are clearly not paying attention. And Mona goes ahead and calls
huge
off that
jam.
jump. We have a 30-point game. It is a 30-point game with 4 minutes left. I mean, we're a good couple of jams away from Vice possibly taking the lead. So,
Man,
I mean,
Vice has
anything
been
can
trailing
happen.
most of the game.
No, you would think, oh, I'm watching basketball and there's only 4 minutes left and one team's up by 30. Oh, that's the team that's going. That is not the case in roller derby because you just saw that in a minute and 15 seconds, she scored 15 points.
Yep.
No basketball player can score 15 points in a minute and 15 seconds. No, maybe Larry Bird.
Most. I think Reggie
think
Miller
it's
might have
happened.
done it. Reggie Miller scored like 12 points in 8 seconds. But that's because they can
Really?
stop the clock a lot better in basketball.
Well, that's very true. They can take advantage of that. But no, roller derby's better than basketball anyway. That's the point I was trying to make. So
and I agree with you.
Don't argue with me. All right, and it looks like we have
The biggest thing here is that we've got
timeout Vice.
We do still have their official review. Dark Sky
Oh.
has 2 timeouts on their official review left.
So Vice Squad still has, after this team timeout comes to its conclusion, they still have an official review. Starlets still have two timeouts and their official review, so they are also able to stop the clock. So Vice is getting started. So they do have one more opportunity to stop the clock, which sometimes you need to do in strategy, which is what they just did right now.
Yep, we've got Scrappy Nasty up there against Reamer.
Fighting
No-
against a very hard pack right now. And everybody's kind of smushed together now. But Starlets do get the lead. But that doesn't mean Scrappy's going to give up. She's going to keep fighting. She is scrappy. But unfortunately, she does get a track cut.
So Reamer's going to see what they can do as Vice Squad works desperately to kill this penalty. And so far, holding Reamer up. Getting a little bit of offense from Dark Sky Starlets now, but still Reamer working on their first scoring pass.
And it looks like Pyro Blaze did receive a track cut penalty, so Vice has lost one
What a
of
big
their blocker.
recycle.
But Vandalizer says, nay, that's not going to affect us, so it does force the call off.
Really effective kill. Vandalizer able to recycle, put an end to it. So Belt Sander is going to start out in a power jam situation, but we have a standing jammer for Vice Squad, so they should be out shortly.
But we do have one of Vice's blockers in the penalty box.
So that means it is 4-on-3 blocker action for the Starlets' favor.
Yep, about 2.5 minutes left to go. Belt Sander gets a long start here.
Long start. Was maybe getting a little bit of offensive help, but now her blockers are going to say, you got to fight, push, we're going to hold the pack in the back.
Yep, and
Which
Scrappy's out.
does seem to work. Scrappy is out, coming in hot, ready to play.
Yep, Zap's going to recycle her.
And Pyro Blaze has been released from the penalty box.
Zap with a double recycle so far. They're trying to put the nail in the coffin here. And now Belt Sander with lead jam putting 5 on the board. Scrappy able to get through as the person who hit her out of bounds went out of bounds.
Yep. So she is able to re-enter the track without having to go backwards.
So Scrappy's going to put some pressure on. That's going to make Belt Sander call this off.
With a fancy little spin move, looked like she got real close to the line, but did not, and went ahead and put 4 points on the board. So we have 136 to 179 for the Starlets, with 124 left in this game.
They'll send out Mona Handful again. Mona Handful's had a couple of big jams for Vice Squad. We'll see if they can deliver one more. And someone who's been delivering all game for Dark Sky, Vivian Slaya is out there.
Vivian Slaya has been delivering all. Oh, eat the baby, which means that one of the jammers knocked out the other jammer and can take them as far back as they want. And does get lead designation. And with 55 minutes left on gameplay, will probably run down the clock.
Yeah, it seems like what they're going to try to do. We'll see. They do want to hold on to that.
But Mona has made it out of her initial pass, so now is in a position to score some points.
And they're actually going to call it, so we're going to see at least one more jam.
We are going to see one more jam. So it is 136 Vice to Starlet's 181.
Yep, and we've got an official review being called, so we'll
which should
stop the clock.
Stop the gameplay clock at 17. And that official review is coming from, hold on, where's my jam timer? To point.
We'll see.
Hello. So Mr. Meat did go ahead and call for that official review. Thanks for your O-face again, letting us know what's going on there, Rizzo. Appreciate it. Thank you for everybody on in the Facebook world for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Because, you know, like I said, we are trying to get fancy with this and just bring Derby to as many people as we can. Because it is an all-inclusive sport. We really try to be a family for all the skaters. I personally have been playing since February. And it has now taken over our life. I volunteer my husband for things. I drag my kids here. I don't care. And it really has become that sense of belonging for many, many skaters throughout the world. And especially here in Tucson. Here in Tucson, I mean, I can only speak for myself. You'll have to speak for Phoenix, but Tucson, we are all about it down here.
Yeah, Phoenix is a big, happy family as well. And really, kind of everywhere I've gone in the roller derby community, it's like that everyone loves each other. It's supportive. It's inclusive. It's just a wonderful community.
Yeah, and in most roller derby leagues, you know, we're 501c3, which means that we are non-for-profit, but we don't just keep all the money we raise. We give it away. We support a lot of LGBTQ plus causes, domestic violence awareness. Today, Arizona Trees Please, which is actually just around the corner. It's off of Speedway and I-10, and that's also another really good one. And it looks like we are back to the derby with that rolling whistle.
Yep,
Possibly for the last jam of this game. And we've got Reamer, who is 63% for the lead. So let's see if in this last jam she can add to that percentage against Scrappy McNasty.
We'll see Scrappy McNasty able to get lead jam.
Scrappy says, nay, nay. It's mine. This is the last jam. I'm taking lead.
And Reamer getting recycled by Van.
But Scrappy is recycled to the outside by Zap. That has been her go-to. Just, you know what? I'm going to knock you out. I'm just going to knock you out of bounds. I'm going to make you try again, and I'm going to soul crush you because it's exhausting.
Double, now the triple recycle. Game clock has expired, so this will likely be the last jam.
And that is up to Scrappy when she decides to call it. But Reamer is out of her first initial pass.
And Scrappy
Oh.
actually got the cut, so there will be no lead jammer. We will play this all the way out.
I think Scrappy thought that when she got knocked out of bounds that either that player that did it either went out of bounds with her or fell, because then that would be a no pass, no play. So Scrappy is going to go spend time in the penalty box and think about what she's done. And try not to do it again because she can't, because this is the last jam. Because it will go for another 35 seconds. And then this game will come to its complete and utter natural conclusion.
Yep, Dark Sky working on a star pass. So Zap, after doing some defensive duties all game, is going to put on the star and play
I think
some
this is
offense.
the first time she's putting on the star.
I believe so. She's had the pivot for many a jam, but this is the first time she's actually received a star pass.
So we'll see what last second point she can... Look at that, some backward skating. Some just fancy footwork right there. So I could see why her jammer wanted to pass her the star. And Scrappy has been released from the box to see if she can manage to get another couple of points in this last couple of seconds.
Yep.
And Zap is super proud of herself.
So Zap's going to put some more points on the board. That's going to mean our unofficial score, as we see it all tick up, 141 for Vice Squad and 188 for our victorious Dark Sky Starlets.
So let's give it up to both teams. That it was a hard-fought, exciting, engaging game. But the win does go to the Dark Sky Starlets, which means officially we can start giving you some rankings. Isn't that nice? Hold on, I click my pen. It's not official till I write it. Starlets. So officially, for this weekend, if I knew how to spell, we do have Vice Squad getting 6th place this weekend and the Starlets getting 5th. Our next game, which is coming at some point, is going to be the Whiskey Rollers versus the Bad News Beaters, and that is to determine who is 3rd and 4th place. So please stick around, check out our vendors, go get a beer, and thank you for coming out, because without fans, we would still do this, but it would be less fun. So this has been Weirdo.
And Laser Wolf.
And we will see you all. You won't see me at all the rest of the weekend. I am done. I am NSOing.
I am done as well.
So we will see you later, Facebook world. Thank you for participating, and good afternoon.